2024 year in review. I wanted to do a year in review video because when I was first starting to do this kind of work, it was 2004. It's 20 years. And as an independent shop owner, or whatever you want to call it, I started as of May of 2006, May 21st, 2006. That was like my first year as an independent shop owner, but 2004 was when I actually started doing this as a job. So there goes 20 years of your life. Some good and some very bad things happened in 2024. And I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've learned in that space. So let's start with some of the bad things because I want to make them short and sweet. The first bad thing I learned is that if you're going to be working on very expensive cars, you need to have a good insurance policy in case those cars get damaged. And we did have a car get stolen and wrecked in 2024. It was actually in 2023, but we finished it up in February/March of 2024. And that was a big deal to us because we tried to take this car and actually make it better than it was before the accident. But going through that process, the one singular thing I learned was that if I didn't have insurance, I could have been on the hook for almost $80,000, which would have been insane. And even though nobody here was obviously responsible for the car getting stolen or wrecked. It had a key left in it from somewhere. I don't know where, but it was hidden in the glove box and the thief found it. We were still on the hook because it happened in our property. So that was the first bad lesson I learned. I think the second bad lesson I learned was that having too many employees and trying to make the shop get through cars faster is bad, not just for my financial productivity, but also for quality control and for mental health. And so we're going to talk about why I cited those things. Having a shop full of good employees is a good thing, but you have to manage them. And then the question becomes, how many employees can you manage at a time? How many cars can you manage at a time? I now know the number of employees I can manage at a time is 3 to 4. All of those employees have to be motivated. They have to be self-starters. They have to really care about what they are doing. They can't be completely foreign to auto repair. They can't have serious personality problems. And they can't, be so experienced that they're attached to their old job and their old way of doing things. And these are all issues that the employees that I had worked with, none of them were bad people. They were all nice people, but they, sometimes employees will do these things where they bring their old attachments or their baggage, or maybe not even those things. Maybe they just don't have the ability to do this job. And so I had to learn that. And so I think we're good now with 3 employees besides myself. Now, some employees are capable of doing the work, but they have things going on outside of the shop that cost them their job. And so Now, let's talk about some of the good things that happened in 2024. I think the first good thing that I wanted to bring up was that there is a way for everybody here to actually make a decent income. So in 2024, this is my first full year of charging $195 an hour. I don't like charging that much. It's a little cringe to me. I don't like it, but it is what I have to charge in order for all my employees to make a decent income and stay on board so we keep doing good work, to make sure the shop has good cash reserves so we can afford to buy parts, so we don't have to say, hey, I need $5,000 or I can't start on your car, It actually enables us to have a budget where we can afford to buy parts and keep them in stock so that the cars can get turned around faster. I think the last thing is it ensures that I don't feel like I'm just working for nothing, I don't need to get paid by a doctor, but I sure as heck don't want to get paid like a CNA either. I don't I don't have a particular attachment to having a high income, but I do have a particular attachment to my wife being able to stay home with their child and to all my employees being able to save up for things they want, like houses, maybe when the housing market becomes realistic again, or if they want to go take a trip and visit family, or if I want to give them bonuses for doing things like keeping the shop clean and our our parts inventories. You know, those things require a full team of people. And if you want professionals working on your Mercedes, they have to show up to work every day and feel like they're getting compensated for the work so they don't go look for another job. The second good thing that I want to discuss that happened this year was that I don't know, it's like I finally got a lot of my health issues straightened out. And so what I learned was that everybody needs to be on a low inflammation diet. Now, whatever that looks like for you is up to you to determine. But here's what it doesn't consist of. It doesn't consist of processed food. It doesn't consist of like heavily processed meats or factory raised meats. It doesn't consist of a lot of omega-6s. It may be a plant-based diet. It may be an animal product-based diet. But each person has a specific diet that works for them. But after talking to dozens of people that were on low inflammation diets at the beginning of the year, I decided that I needed to be very serious about being on a low inflammation diet. And what do we know? My joints don't hurt as much anymore. The pain is significantly reduced. 2023 and earlier, I was in constant pain. Always. I don't talk about it much because a lot of people are in constant pain. Nobody wants to hear you complain about being in pain all the time. You know, but I mean, it hurts. You're 257 pounds. You're 6'4". You know, it hurts. It does hurt. And so I'm like, I got to get an edge on this. And so I would suggest that a lot of you look into the power of omega-3s, of either plant-based, low processed diets with low pesticides, or if you like animal-based diets, which I do, which has proven to work best for me, grass-fed animals tend to make better food. So anyway, here's the last thing. I wanted to mention something colloquially because I know this has been kind of a long video, but we got our second shout out from Jerry Seinfeld. And so I wanted to bring this up because I think Jerry might actually be watching this channel. But, you know, this is my chance maybe to make some kind of statement to Jerry about how he played a role in my life. And so when I was growing up, you know, my dad had it rough the last few years of his life. At 65 years old, he had to go back to work. And when we moved back to the country, he and I set up our diesel injection pump shop. And yes, we worked on a lot of Mercedes diesel engines. And so that was how I sort of oriented myself with the cars. You know, I had a 240D and then a 220D and a 300 SD. And I enjoyed working on the cars and I learned a lot about not just their fuel systems, but the cars in general. But at night when we were done slugging it out and whatever we had to do, you know, I was an IB student, so there wasn't a lot of spare time for me at all. I had very few friends. I couldn't play sports. Any extra time I had was either spent dealing with, you know, my own car needs, keeping my own cars going, not restoring them, keeping them going, and working with my dad at the shop. And so our thing that we would do at night after work was we would unwind and we would watch Seinfeld together. And I would describe my dad's affinity for Seinfeld, like the show, as a love-hate relationship because he absolutely, I think it's very funny, he got the whole premise of the show. He absolutely did not like anybody in the show except for Kramer. And Kramer was his man. He was the person that my dad connected with because he said that Kramer was funny and innocent and lighthearted, and he did things that most people normally would not do. And I think there's a little bit of Kramer in all of us, right? Personally, after I saw the episode about Kramer putting a garbage disposal in a shower, I actually tried washing my dishes in the shower in college. And it worked very well for 6 months until I caused a major plumbing problem. But that was one of the few things my dad and I could connect on, because my dad's first language wasn't English. He sort of got, he sort of got the whole, even though my dad never lived in New York, he sort of fit in there, because you find a lot of people in New York whose first language isn't English. And so they find a way to get along and communicate. They find their own rhythm. And that was sort of how my dad was, And so he and I would connect over it. We would connect over episodes of Seinfeld, and I think that was a type of humor. It was one of the few things where he found humor at that point in his life. And so my dad worked from, up until he died in 2009. That was it. He spent a month and a half in the hospital, and, oh God. And he spent the last 6 or 7 years of his life earning money from his shop to send to his family in Lebanon, because they had some serious health problems that included cancer and, other issues. But 2 of them died of cancer, even though my dad was helping to fund their treatments. And so, I don't know, it's just funny. But anyway, Jerry, I appreciate you watching my channel. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to meet you. And I appreciate the fact that you like what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of people out here on YouTube who would rather talk about negative content. I don't want to talk about negative content. I want to talk about real content. I want to talk about finding solutions to problems. So, last thing I want to share with you guys, for 2024, my resolution was to start vlogging my work in the shop. So if you want to look up my channel, it's called This Is Night Shop. And I bought a GoPro, and I'm going to try it and see what happens. So, continue to support this channel on Patreon. That channel is mostly just so you guys can see what I have to deal with every day. And that's that. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And to all 47,700 of you and change, last time I checked our subscriber count, thank you for sticking with us for 10 years. See you guys later.